Welcome to the Kareem Report, aka Mr. 100 Likes. How you guys doing? Wow, let's get to it. Let's get to it, man. I was watching Gilbert Arenas and Shannon Sharp on the late night with Shay Sharp. Um, I was watching that with the show, good show. I like that show. I watch it. I support it. But Shannon Sharp talked about Isaiah Thomas, said that Gilbert Arenas, said that Stephon Marbury deserved to be in the NBA, in the Basketball Hall of Fame because he said what he did in the NBA and also what he done overseas in China. And he said that Steph should be in the Hall of Fame. And so he asked Gilbert. Gilbert said that he agreed with Isaiah Thomas. Said that if you look at Steph numbers, he averaged, I think he's saying like 18 1 year. I think he was just calling out different numbers, what Steph averaged in like different seasons. And then Shannon Sharp said, I disagree with you, Gil, because one, he only made the All-Star team 2 times, and he wasn't that much an impact player like that. And so Gilbert saying according to the players, and then Gilbert was basically talking about guys who's in the Hall of Fame. And this is my thing, and this is this the part I feel that's sad because for one, Shannon Sharp is a football player. He did have enough sense to see clear as day Stephon Marbury is not a Hall of Fame player. And Gilbert saying he is, and he just called out these numbers. And then Gilbert said, "Oh, you have to look at who he was playing behind in the West." Uh, I disagree with Gilbert and all that because one, if you're a Hall of Fame player, you that guy. It's not going to be too many guys in front of you. Stephon Marbury played in the East Coast and he played in the West Coast. If you a Hall of Famer while you playing, you're gonna get in. You're gonna get in. You're gonna play in more than 2 All-Star games. So I don't get that what Gil's saying. And the NBA Hall of Fame I think is flawed. I think it is bad. I ain't gonna say NBA Hall of Fame is Basketball Hall of Fame. That's why I like the football, because football Hall of Fame is strictly, predicated on the NFL. Baseball Hall of Fame is the same what you do in baseball, in professional baseball. And basketball, they count college, helps you, the Olympics, and overseas international basketball. I think that's just too much going on right there for one. Um, because if you look at it like this, the Olympics, you playing with a lot of other great players, and nobody really dominates the Olympics. Most people play, they good, but nobody really dominated. It's normally, I'm saying, as far as American players, you're playing with a whole bunch of other great players. If you win, it's more of a team thing. It's not like an individual thing with Team USA, and I don't think that should have anything to do with what you did, what you're doing in the NBA. In college, I feel that shouldn't be a factor. If it is, I feel like this. If you're gonna factor in overseas college and Olympics, I feel that should have like a small, very small. It shouldn't be that much of a factor. It should be a very little small consideration. And I feel the NBA should be the bulk of what it is. You know a great player and a Hall of Fame player when they playing. You know that. It's not anytime you have to sit there and think the player is not a Hall of Fame. Um, and I don't know what type of winning. That's why I said it's not good. The Hall of Fame should, the original, I always heard the Hall of Fame growing up. They always said you have to have 8 dominant years. This because you average 20 something points and you're losing and you're not dominant. The original thing was longevity for the Hall of Fame. Longevity was a major factor, and you had to at least have at least 8 dominant years. Now, 8 dominant years, what we call dominant. Okay, in the last 3 years, Luka been playing. He been dominating. The last 3 years, Embiid, that's domination. Jokic, domination. Giannis, domination. those dominant years, when you look at in a vacuum like that, this because a guy in the last 3 years, like a guy like Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns, if you look at it, he had good numbers, but he never was really dominant. He was never no like dominant when you should at least been at least top 10 player in the league at bare minimum at least 8 years. 8 years. And Stephon Marbury, he never was a top 10 player in the NBA. So how the Hall of Fame should be very hard to get in. It should be very selective and it should be real tedious. And what Gilbert's saying, you can't really look at just because guys that's in there that you feel don't deserve to be in there, that shouldn't put you to say, okay, well, since they in there, Steph should be in it. The man asks you a simple question. Is Stephon Marbury is a Hall of Famer? Don't have nothing to do with other guys. Me personally, I don't like that Ralph Sampson in there. Ralph Sampson, I think, had 7,000 career points. He only had 3 good years. His first 3 years was kind of dominant. You could say his first 3 years, and after that, he was nothing. And he had 4 years dominant in college. That's it. And I feel that the college really kind of boosted him more than anything, and I feel it shouldn't be a factor. And then they saying what he did in China. Now, we all know China is the weakest league out of anything that's overseas. The China league is weak. China don't really have no talent out there. And if you look at it, what talent outside of Yao Ming, nobody else did anything. Jeremy Lin, he done nothing. He had a 15-game stretch. The other Chinese guy, Lin Yan, whatever his name is, the guy, he was like 6'11", the Chinese guy, Ilian, whatever his name is. He didn't do anything. He was a lottery pick. Yao Ming, the only one did anything. China is a weak league. It's not like the Euro League that Luka and them guys came from. That was way more stiffer competition. That way more talented guys. Those guys like that, even guys like Kukoc, Vlade Divac, Dino Radja, Luis Scola, they had Drazen Petrovic. They had a lot of guys in the Euro League that's came over here and play well. And China, what he did in China, then this is another thing like this. I think Jimmy Fredette had almost 100 points. I think he had like 80, 90 points in China. So it's not nothing, okay, he went out there, he averaged 35. That should be something that should people be like, oh my God, like he's not no Hall of Famer. Steph is not no Hall of Famer. We all know that. Was he a good basketball player? Yes. And it's sad because right now, if you sit there and ask somebody, Karl Anthony Towns, I think, been in the league probably 7, 8 years, whatever. People will say he's a Hall of Famer right now. And how? That's what I'm saying. You can't just go by numbers. Hall of Famer is someone who's been great, and especially you got to have a lot of playoff moments. Not no one season, a lot of playoff success. A lot of play. I ain't saying you have to win a championship. There's been a dominant in the playoffs. So, and they would consider, if Karl Anthony Towns retired after this season, they would consider him Hall of Fame. And I don't think that's not right. They need to change the Hall of Fame. Number one, they should get rid of all the college thing should have. Now, college ain't going to be too much of a factor because a lot of guys don't stay in school 4 years like they did before. So, it's not going to be a factor with a lot of these guys coming in now. And overseas shouldn't be a factor like that. If a guy like, for instance, a guy like Venus Sabonis, the father, most of his career was in Europe. He was the greatest player out there. He only in the NBA he wasn't. It should be something, they should change it. Tell me what you guys think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Peace.